Let me take you into this idea with honesty and a little raw truth. Every single one of us dreams of living a life that matters. We want to build something meaningful, something lasting, whether it's in business, relationships, or the quiet places in our own hearts. But here's the uncomfortable reality: only a very small percentage of people actually break through, while the vast majority stop somewhere along the way. And it's not because they weren't smart enough, or talented enough, or capable enough. No, it's because success, the real kind, demands something most people aren't willing to face. We live in a world that glorifies comfort, but success is built in discomfort. We want certainty, but the path of growth is uncertain. We want applause, but real progress often happens in silence, without anyone cheering us on. That's why only a small fraction keep going when things get hard, when the critics get loud, when fear takes over the room. And that's why so many stop, because pushing through those moments requires courage, not just confidence. Think about it. The people who rise into that 2% aren't different from you or me. They don't have some secret code hidden in their DNA. What they do have is the willingness to fall flat on their face, get back up, and say, "I'm not done yet." They know that vulnerability isn't weakness. It's the birthplace of resilience, of innovation, of leadership. They choose to keep showing up even when the outcome is uncertain, even when failure feels inevitable, even when the risk is greater than the reward. That's what separates the few from the many. It's not about having everything figured out. It's about deciding that you're willing to walk into the fire of failure, rejection, and doubt, and keep walking anyway. It's about trading comfort for courage, excuses for accountability, and the illusion of safety for the chance to actually live fully. So today, as we talk about why 2% succeed and 98% don't, I want you to sit with this one question. What would it take for you to bet on yourself fully and unapologetically, even when the outcome isn't guaranteed? Because the truth is, you don't have to be part of the 98. You can choose differently. And that choice begins the moment you decide to step into the arena, heart wide open, willing to fail, but more determined to rise. Let me begin with a truth that's both sobering and empowering. Every one of us, at some point in our lives, imagines a version of ourselves that is bold, successful, and deeply fulfilled. We imagine building something meaningful, something that reflects not just what we do, but who we are. And yet, if you look around, you'll see that only a very small fraction of people actually make that vision a reality. 2%, just 2 out of 100. The other 98, they stop, they drift, they settle. Not because they didn't have enough talent, not because they lacked potential, but because the road to becoming that version of ourselves is much harder, much scarier, and much lonelier than most people are willing to face. The truth is, we are wired to crave comfort. We love the familiar. We seek safety, control, certainty. But the space where success lives, the space where innovation, leadership, and greatness are born, is the space of discomfort. It's unpredictable. It's messy. It's a place where you will fall more times than you can count, and where you'll be misunderstood, judged, even doubted by the people closest to you. Most people walk up to the edge of that space, feel the fear rise in their chest, and decide it's too much. That's why the 98 exists. But the 2%, they make a different choice. They are not superhuman. They are not born with a secret formula. And they do not have some mystical gift the rest of us missed out on. What they do have is the courage to step into the unknown, even when their knees are shaking. They are willing to look foolish, to fail publicly, to be criticized, and still say, "I'm not done. I'm still here." They know that vulnerability is not weakness. It's the birthplace of resilience. It's the spark that fuels creativity. It's the soil in which true leadership grows. And here's the part we don't often talk about. Those who succeed don't just face external challenges. They wrestle daily with their own self-doubt, with the voices that say, "Who are you to dream that big? Who are you to take that risk?" But instead of letting those voices define them, they answer back with action. They show up again and again, even when the outcome is uncertain, even when the path forward is invisible. They've learned that courage isn't about having all the answers. It's about taking the next step even without them. What separates the 2% from the 98 isn't luck, and it isn't destiny. It's the willingness to trade comfort for courage. It's the decision to prioritize growth over approval. It's the choice to stand in the arena, scraped, bruised, sometimes on their knees, but still standing. And every time they rise, they widen the gap between themselves and those who stopped. So today, as we dive into why only 2% succeed while 98% don't, I want you to really sit with this question. What would it look like for you to bet on yourself without conditions? To say yes to your potential even when failure feels inevitable? Because the truth is, you don't have to live inside the 98. You can choose differently. And that choice doesn't start tomorrow or someday. It starts the moment you decide to walk forward, heart open, unafraid of falling, and more determined than ever to rise.